They say that deeper the love, the deeper the grief. And I'm still grieving so deeply. And people would hug me and say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And certain people would say, I know how you feel. And I'd say, have you lost a parent? Have you lost a mother or father? And they would say no. And then I would say, you have no idea how I feel. Because I knew it was going to feel bad, but I had no idea it was going to hurt this much. Writing this book was a great catharsis. It brought me a lot of joy because not only was I able to share the experiences I had with my dad and what a wonderful person he was, it reminded me of what a great writer that he was. It's called My Dad, My Dying Son, son spelled S-U-N, because my dad was the inspiration, the light of my life. He guided me. He made me the man I am today. That's why it's son. He was the sun in my life, the brightness, the positivity. He cared so much about his children. And I'll tell you about my dad's history. He was born poor to immigrants of Lebanese descent that came here through Ellis Island. And his first memory was of seeing the police arrest his father for making bathtub during Prohibition. He was born poor, but guess what? He overcame that. He succeeded. He became the most prolific sports author of his generation. For 3 decades, there was nobody more famous in the world of sports writing than Sahadi. And I'm so proud of it. Well, at one point, my dad was considered more famous than I. And then eventually, I took the mantle and became more famous than him. But my dad never was so jealous. He was so happy. He was so proud that the son that he helped create and mold became this, person who won 27 Pro Max Gold Medallion Awards in the world of professional wrestling and 2 sports Emmys. He was just so proud, not envious at all. It's funny because we have different writing styles. And my dad always said, I can't write like you do. I'm a little more spiritual and a lot of prose when I write. But then reading my dad's books, I saw a lot of the way I write in him. So it was already instilled in me. And I realized as I was writing this book and it was coming together, my writing style was meshing with his writing style. Now, the book has several layers to it, but it's got 2 components. One is chapter 1, the day I brought him home on October 2nd, 2020. And every odd chapter is about his recovery. And what happens? Every even chapter is a chapter of one of his books. Like we end chapter 1 by saying that we're praying on a miracle. Chapter 2 is his words, the miracle in Miami, when the Jets won the Super Bowl against all odds. Just as my dad was winning his battle against all odds. So I discovered a lot of myself in him in writing his words. And I realized, wow, what an amazing author he was. He had talent, he was great. And not only did he author 31 books, but he wrote tens of thousands of magazine articles and published 4 monthly magazines, one on football, baseball, basketball, and wrestling called Pro Wrestling Scene. So he was working his butt off just so his children could have a better life than he could. Love is such a beautiful thing. It's really our story about the blessed lives we live together in each other's company and amongst the shadows and legends in our respective fields. A lot of wrestling analogs, a lot of sports stories, but truly the connection between a father and a son. I think anybody can relate to this. Anybody who has a deep connection of love between a parent and a child, or a husband and a wife, or a lover, anybody that has known love on a deep level can relate to this book just because it really is a story of love. He's probably the greatest man that ever lived and the greatest father anyone can ever have.
Papa, look who's here!
What did you call my Uber?
I walked here from Chattanooga, Papa, to watch a Yankee game with you tonight.
We got it.
Love you.
Oh, if you a little bit of hot tea.